This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen, and along with Dave Riccio, and together every single Saturday we are your KTAR car guys, helping you navigate the world of automobile ownership, whether it's a breakdown problem, maybe you've got a repair that you're considering, maybe you're shopping for a new car today. Guess what? They're going to put you right into that finance department, and then that guy's going to start talking to you about the warranties and the prepaid packages and all that kind of stuff. So we can help you with your car. It doesn't matter what it is. Dave and I have got some experience with it, and we can point you in the right direction. And to have us help you, it's very easy. You can tune in every Saturday. You can find our shows on our website, bumpertobumperradio.com, where there's a podcast. But the easiest way to get help right now is to give us a call, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And provided you are not texting, not driving, you can text us at 411-923, and we'll try to answer your question on the air. We might be able to type back real quick and get you an answer. But, Dave, we want to talk today about check engine light diagnosis, but a little bit deeper into that. You know, you've had some of it in your shop, and I've had it in mine lately, where car comes in and there's 30 codes. Or the car was referred to us by another shop and said, oh, they said, you know, you guys are experts at this, and on my BMW or whatever, it's got 30 codes. And, oh, my God, and these people are freaking out. I
had one this week. I picked up from another shop, and the lady called me. She said, yeah, my Volvo's over here. I need to bring it in and get the transmission checked out. And they said there's 17 codes in my car. And I said, well, you know, there's some codes that mean something, and then there's some codes that just don't mean anything.
But they're not relevant right now.
They're not relevant right now, and they may never be relevant. So, you know, on a Volvo, you scan any Volvo. European cars in particular, and this isn't the scanning that the check engine light turns on for. And even when we plug into it, there's powertrain codes, which can be your engine and transmission and some of your basic things. But then there's all kinds of modules and brains on the computer. There's a brain for the stereo. There's a brain for the power seats. There's a brain for the ABS. There's all these things going on. So a lot of these modern cars, when you scan them, you're gonna have a bunch of codes that are kind of further down the line that may or may not mean anything at this time.
Yeah, they're deep into. So all of a sudden you've got a misfire problem. The car's not quite running right. Maybe the transmission's shifting wrong. We're going to scan that. I mean, same as at Virginia Auto Services, Tri-City Transmission. We're going to get in there. And the other thing that's funny, too, I'm going to back up a little bit. I had a customer with a Mini Cooper this week. Mm-hmm. Check engine light came on. His wife was driving. He brought it back. He did a little bit of work. He cleaned out the throttle body, cleaned the mass airflow sensor. And he says, you know, there's no codes, but it's still not running right. Check engine light wasn't on. But we were able to get in there. He had his little code reader from his buddy, the one they have over at Acme Auto Parts.
Yeah.
And had no codes. But when we get out the proper factory-level diagnostic tool for that car, it's got misfire codes.
Yeah.
Wasn't turning on the light yet either.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, you're gonna. It's not uncommon to get all these codes, but we need to just focus on your symptom, because like you said, Dave, window codes, module codes. You know, there's a front lighting module on Mercedes. There's a back lighting module. Occasionally you're going to get a code in there, but we're going to document those, print them out, save them, probably clear out, and then go drive the car and focus on the failure. So sometimes, but what do you do when you have 2 or 3 codes, Dave? That's if they're related or relevant to the area of the complaint.
Well, we had one. I get texts all the time. Hey, Dave, this truck I got for my son, the check engine light came on, the traction control light came on. I went to Acme Auto Parts. They said I need O2 sensors. And I just responded back. I'm like, Darren, O2 sensor codes from an auto parts store, you rarely actually need O2 sensors. Let me diagnose it. He goes, what about the traction light? I said, let me diagnose it. So he brings it down, and guess what? He didn't need O2 sensors. And he didn't have a traction control problem. There was a chafed wire over the top of the motor, chafed, so that it was rubbing, and that was both problems all in one. And people are so misled by, I just take it down to Acme Auto Parts, they plug into it, and it tells them what's going wrong. it doesn't work that way. And you know what? The things that they're usually right. I would say 20 to 30% of the time, you know. And so what Darren tells me, he goes, Dave, you know, they said they got the O2 sensors. They said it's a pretty easy job, but less and less do I want to spend my Saturday afternoon underneath the truck. You know, he said, I'm over those days, but you know, so. But they're going to sell you that because that's what they sell.
And sometimes what they sell, depending on where you think your budget is or how they judge you or make recommendations, they might sell you a part that's worse, brand new,
than the one that's on there.
Than your 70 or 80,000 mile old oxygen sensor or air fuel ratio sensor, you know, from Toyota. So
I think there's a little bit of fantasy that goes on. Plug it in. We're going to diagnose it for you at the auto parts store. And it can be helpful, you know, but it also can cause more issues because what we have to do when somebody comes to us from the auto parts store is we have to unwind all the bad information, you know. In the little printout receipt they usually say if it's a transmission problem, it'll say it's either a bad computer, it's possibly bad wiring, and it's possibly a bad transmission.
Oh, gee.
That's huge.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a lot of stuff.
Tell me something I didn't know.
Yeah, right. That's okay. So we'll just replace the wiring, the transmission, and the computer, and everything should be good, right? So that's where the diagnostic happens is which one of those. That's a big range of stuff. How are you going to, dial that in?
I guess I liken it to the medical field. If you went into the clinic and all they did was take your temperature, you know, you can have a high fever from a urinary tract infection. You have a high fever from strep throat. You have a high fever from whatever ailment, but they don't all get treated the same. There's different. So that's, you know, auto parts store. We checked the temperature. You know, got the code. So it's an oxygen sensor.
Yeah. So
not usually. And then, but just to back up, if you're out there driving a Toyota, or a lot of cars now, Toyota, all the lights come on because
it's a Christmas tree.
Because the stability control and the driver stability and driver safety functions that are built into the car, it uses the brakes, it uses the ABS, it uses input from the engine sensors, multiple sensors, and if they can't guarantee the performance of the engine, they are going to not guarantee the driver safety functions are going to work, and that's why all those turn on. So the inexperienced person might go, "Oh my God, I got all this stuff."
Yes,
typically related to the one thing.
Well, do you get freak out at your shop? And this guy was like, "Oh yeah, there's like 17 codes in my car," and I explained to her, "This is a Volvo. They have all these codes in the background." And when I did get the list of codes, it was stuff for like audio system, you know, distortion and right front speaker. Okay. You know what I mean? Don't turn it up so loud. Specifically with the codes they were all codes that were pretty irrelevant. And just about any Volvo or BMW, for example, I've never scanned a BMW and got anything less than 5 codes out of it.
Oh yeah, never.
You know, even though there's no complaints from the car, it may just come in for routine maintenance and only have 42,000 miles on it, and nothing's broken, but it's still got 10 codes in it.
And if you're experienced with the BMWs, you know that there's certain codes that they all have, and you're not going to even waste your time running down that rabbit hole.
It's like the Nissans out of the early 2000s. They all have a knock sensor code in them, like every one of them. I think when they pull off the lot, they have that knock sensor code in them.
Yeah, but it doesn't set a light.
It doesn't set a light. It won't keep you through emissions, all that stuff. So that's where the experience comes in. But if you roll into XYZ Auto Parts store and they say, "Oh, you got a knock sensor code, we can sell you a knock sensor for it." Well,
the best, I've explained it, and I don't know where I heard this first, but I certainly didn't make it up. But it's like mailing a letter. If you want to mail me a letter, you need to have my name, my address, my zip code, my apartment number, whatever it is. When you go to the parts store, they essentially are getting you the zip code. Here's the zip code of the problem. Try mailing a letter to Matt Allen with 85020 on it, whatever the state arcade. If you're the president or you're the
he thinks he's a big deal and he thinks it's going to get there,
okay.
But he is not.
If you're the president, it's going to get there. If you're the IRS, they're going to get it. Internal Revenue Service 9742.
They'll get it.
They'll get it. But the point is, we have to drill down, and spending money to diagnose your car is the best money you will ever spend to have it done and done right, because it's more expensive for those 3 or 4 guesses. If your buddy would have put 2 oxygen sensors in the car, they're what, $200 a piece on a Toyota on a 4Runner.
Well, and then it's your Saturday afternoon, and it's not a big deal until you don't have the right socket, and then you're using a crescent wrench, and then you bust your knuckles. Yeah. Then you got to go to the ER, and now you're having somebody else do it, and they round off the thing, and now it's just not.
Or they give you a universal oxygen sensor, so instead of having the nice factory connector, you've got to cut the wires.
I had one in the other day, and this one came in. The guy said, "Hey, my car's having trouble starting. It's not the battery. I need you guys to check it out." So we check it out. It is the battery that's bad in his car. And so he had 2 voltage codes, and he had a throttle sensor code in there, and 2 of the codes were voltage codes. So I said, well, there's a throttle code in there. You definitely need a battery, so we're going to sell you a battery. We put the battery in his car, put an Interstate Battery in it. I said, we went ahead and drove it 10 miles to make sure this other throttle code didn't come back, because chances are it was related to the bad battery. Yeah. And it really had nothing to do with the throttle sensor code. Now, if he was at XYZ Auto Parts, they might have sold him a throttle sensor.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all it was. So we always check the battery, put an Interstate Battery in, good to go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Every check engine light diagnosis starts off with a battery test, and we do not move past that unless you've got a good battery, especially when it's cold. You go hit the key, draws the voltage down. The O2 sensor heater circuit sends a code because the battery voltage dropped, and people are buying oxygen sensors, and you don't need them. So you're right, Dave.
A good battery will keep a lot of those junk codes out of your computer.
Yeah, and don't wait till your battery's bad. When you start to hear that thing,
I know. My wife's car is doing it. I'm like, oh, crap, I got to take this in.
InterstateBatteries.com. That's where we find good batteries like the Megatron Plus. And the great thing is, just like the name, they're warranted nationwide. So 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys.
Honesty and integrity. It's the only option. Hi, Spencer Doucet for H&I Automotive. H is for honesty, and I is for integrity. We built our business on these 2 principles. We opened our first shop in Mesa in 2009, and with the support from our loyal customers, we've now grown to a second state-of-the-art location in Gilbert. 2 locations, same principles. Quality service at a great value, backed by an industry-leading 60-month, 60,000-mile parts and labor warranty. Check us out at HandIAutomotive.com.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Hey y'all, this is Jordan Spieth. Join me in the PGA Tour's best, the Waste Management Phoenix Open, presented by the Ak-Chin Indian Community, January 29th through February 3rd at TBC Scottsdale. See you at the People's Open.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm David Riccio, here along with Matt Allen. Together we are your KTAR car guys. We're helping you with your car at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. We've been talking to you about check engine lights and codes and what all that means. And, scanners comes up so often, Matt. I know that at your shop, you've got it just you have a whole cabinet full of scanners.
It's like that,
and people don't understand that.
No, it's Pulp Fiction. The briefcase that glows. Woo, You really don't know what's in it. That's what that cabinet is, with about $85,000 of the tools over in our room. You open it up and it's. Woo. I mean, we've got the factory Honda tool, factory Toyota tool, factory Chrysler. We got all your German brands. I mean, OE, original. There's nothing that we can't do at our shop that the dealer can do or anything else. I mean, lab scopes. The amazing stuff is I know you've got some of this stuff in your shop too, Dave. Using a lab scope for diagnosis, looking at motors. We're using pressure transducers to watch the engine go through the cycle to see where pressures are, and it's amazing.
In the old days, you have to pull stuff out, do a compression test, and we still do them at this point. But sometimes we do a relative compression test where we put a transducer in the tailpipe just to see if there's an issue there.
Yeah, it can sense that little out the tailpipe is different than the rest of the.
Yep, exactly. So we've got Nick, a couple calls filing in, and we're going to go ahead and go with Bruce in Phoenix. He's got a 1997 Chevrolet Cavalier. How can we help you, Bruce? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, thanks for all the info.
You bet.
My daughter lost her keys on this car, so I replaced the key cylinder and had to recalibrate it with the theft system, and it worked for a week or two, and then started tripping the theft system every morning. And it'll start in the afternoon fine, and then the next morning it'll trip the theft system again. So I wonder if there's I've tried all the online gimmicks.
Right.
I just need to, it's kind of related to what you guys are talking about. Maybe I just need to get someone to diagnose it.
These theft things are a little funky sometimes, but none of these symptoms happened until after you had to replace the key?
That's correct, yeah.
Dave, it's hard to find anybody that even knows how to work on a 97.
Yeah, a little bit, but these lock cylinders, did you get a General Motors or AC Delco lock cylinder, or where'd that come from? 'Cause that's one of the...
No, it was I think Napa.
Right. And I'm not saying that's the problem at all, but sometimes I consider that a little bit. That does play a fact, but there's going to be some diagnostic steps there.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to go through. And the unfortunate thing is sometimes, the theft system on a 97 car is not going to put out a lot of codes. That's old school. You're getting your
map.
That's
early on.
That's
yeah.
like looking at finding your way with a topographical map. You've got to get the map out. You've got to understand the system. You got to, that's not a real common problem anymore. So we've got to go back and read the theory and operation and refresh our memories on how that system is supposed to work. Get a wiring diagram out, and then we have to double check all the steps that you made. That's the difficult thing. But in the future, if you call a good locksmith, you don't have to do that. They can come out.
Yeah, that's a good repair for locksmith.
They can do you may have saved yourself some money doing that. So good luck. I mean, hopefully you can figure it out. And if you've got a shop, you need to.
And if you're looking for a good shop, bumpertobumperradio.com. You can send us an email there. So thanks for the call, Bruce. We're going to go with, looks like Mike in Gilbert. He's got a 2014 GMC Acadia. How can we help you, Mike? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
Yes, sir. My question is this. On my 2014 GMC Acadia, the oil, it calls for 530 Dexos 1 synthetic blend. And I would like to stick with it, but I am having a heck of a time locating the synthetic blend. Everything is full synthetic. What can I do? Can I use full synthetic?
I would use full
does it matter?
synthetic.
Yeah, no, you can definitely use full synthetic. I mean, we're getting away from using a synthetic blend oil. That's what I use at my shop now. We're going to just go to full synthetic.
Yeah.
But it also has to do with some of the licensing with Dexos. There's a lot of oils out there that meet the requirements. They just didn't pay General Motors the $500,000 to use their symbol on their bottle. But switch it up to a full synthetic. You've got no problems there, and no matter what kind of car you're driving out there, for the most case, I would recommend synthetic oil and a 5,000-mile oil change interval, somewhere around there. Sometimes you stretch to 7,500, but that brand new car you're driving where the first 2 years the maintenance is free. That's because they're only going to schedule you for 2 oil changes. I mean, a friend of mine just bought one, and I said no. You do one before. We won't reset the light. We won't do anything, and then let theirs do it let them get the free one when the light comes on. It's a bad habit to get into on a new car.
Right.
Just stick it out 5,000.
For sure. I was looking at my window sticker today. I'm a little bit behind on my oil change, like 2,500 miles. But I use full synthetic, and I set myself up for a 5,000-mile oil change. So I'm feeling a little guilty about that.
Yeah.
But sometimes I got to take it to a different shop if I want to get the oil change.
You have to go repent.
Shoemakers' kids go without shoes, that's for sure. So let's see if we can sneak in Nick in Sun City. He's got a 2011 Crown Victoria. How can we help you, Nick? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Oh, good morning. Thank you. I have changed. I took my car to a place to change the headlights maybe 3 years ago. I kept the originals, the Sylvanias, the 9007 series, and they put in some pilots, which I've never liked them. My question is, what's the brightest bulb available? Philip makes a really bright white light bulb. What do you suggest putting in replacing those bulbs with?
What did you mean by it's a pilot bulb?
Is that the brand?
Well, the brand.
Oh.
It was junk.
Oh.
It was junk.
I've never heard of that. Yeah, Sylvania makes a good bulb. I had the, what do they call it, where you have xenon lights on my Excursion that were put on aftermarket, and they were really bright. But they kept having failures because you had to cut the wiring harness and you had to do this stuff to install it. It wasn't me that did it. And I found these connection problems. So I just went to an LED headlight. And they're nice and bright and white. I have a 2010 Tundra, and I had one headlight bulb burn out the other day. So I put in one. I was going to replace them both with the Sylvanias. I put in one, and it was definitely brighter. The original Toyota headlight was more yellow. So I was planning to replace both, but I wanted to see the difference.
Need to be a little trial and error. You can't just look at the package to see who's the brightest bulb.
Right.
You got to have a little bit of a conversation before you're going to know.
Yeah. But look at the LEDs. You can find them on Amazon or, maybe some of the part stores. But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was driving to work the other day, and there was a car behind me with his bright lights on. And I'm driving, and I talked to him at stoplight. Oh, your bright lights are on. He goes, I know. Oh, okay, great. So
that's a little different story than I heard the other morning.
Okay, yeah, I had to clean that story
up.
Yeah,
you certainly did. There was a little bit of beep, beep, beep. We'd be wearing out the beep button if we were really telling that story. I'd have my hands full. Everybody's ears would be like, what the heck is going on over there at that radio station? Oh, that's Dave ranting.
Yeah, oh man. In traffic, I need some Prozac just for driving in traffic.
I'm going to try and find the article, but I just read the headlines. There was an article the other day talking about how bright headlights are, and it's a great improvement in technology. The way they're turning the lights and doing, how bright they are, but it's hurting the oncoming drivers.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so bright. And, I flash people once in a while because I think, damn, dude, you got your brights on. And then they turn them on. I'm like, holy crud, those are bright. Maybe, makes me think twice about flashing somebody again.
But if you think of the speeds we drive now versus like the 80s, speed limit used to be 55 on the highway, and now it's 75. We all go 85. Your headlights got to be out there way in front of you.
You can't overdrive your headlights.
So anyhow, when we come back, we are taking more phone calls and texts at 602-277-5827. We've got Bill in Mesa, and looks like Kiefer in Mesa, so it's a Mesa day. Hang tight. We'll get back to you. We'll be right back. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Your reputation is everything, is what our parents told us, and they were right. Hi, Leo Petrozello for Campus Auto Body Salon. Since 1973, we've been the go-to for collision repair for thousands of Valley car owners for good reason, and thankfully, our customers have rewarded us with raving reviews. Don't just take my word for it. Check us out on bumpertobumperradio.com, or for that matter, any of the major independent review sites like Yelp and CarWise.com, where we earn a 5-star rating, or the BBB, where we have an A+. At Campus Auto Body Salon, getting your vehicle back to pre-accident condition, both in appearance and structural integrity, is our top priority, not cutting corners for the insurance company. Get your repair done right. Arizona law allows you to choose your repair facility, so we invite you to check us out and see why our reviews are so strong. When you've had an accident, make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Check us out online at campusbodysalon.com.
Life's good news often comes with a little bad news, right? Hi, Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission and co-host of Bumper to Bumper Radio. Car repair seems to follow that same trend. The good news, transmissions are lasting twice as long as they used to. The bad news, they can cost as much as $1,000 more than you might remember. So if you're going to have to spend some money on a new transmission, you want to be sure you really need it. And if you do, that it's done right at a fair price. For over 45 years, Tri-City Transmission has built a reputation for having the experience and expertise to properly diagnose and repair your transmission without costly overhaul or replacement. If we do have to recommend a major transmission repair, you can be assured you're getting an honest recommendation and a job done right at a fair price. I guarantee it. Check us out online at TriCityTransmission.com. That's TriCityTransmission.com. TriCityTransmission.com.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic now.
KTAR News time is 11:30. I'm Nailea Leon. New this morning, a body was found this morning near the Chandler Boulevard and Cooper Road. Phoenix police say they are working on getting more details on whether it's a male or female. We will update you as soon as we get them. Also this morning, Phoenix police is investigating a car accident involving an MCSO deputy. There is limited information. We are working to get the details on that as well. And federal employees have mixed feelings about the deal ending the partial government shutdown that is putting them back to work.
TSA agent James Murdoch is worried since President Trump is threatening another shutdown if a border security plan isn't worked out by lawmakers within the next 3 weeks.
Very concerned that this is only a temporary measure, that we could be right back here in the same situation 3 weeks from now. And we're tired of that. We're tired of being held hostage.
EPA attorney Kayleen Castelli echoing those concerns.
I definitely welcome getting paid, but I think long-term certainty is ultimately what we're looking for.
She says 35 days without a paycheck was bad enough. Mona Rivera, ABC News.
Now let's get a check on your Saturday morning traffic. Here's Mike Daniels in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
We got a vehicle fire in Alea blocking the right shoulder, Loop 202 eastbound right there at 24th Street. Got a wreck off right 10 eastbound west of the Loop 101, and a crash at 51st Avenue and McDowell. This traffic report is brought to you by Inspire Sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea solution that doesn't involve a mask or hose. The freedom to sleep like everyone else is just a click away at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Right now it's 58 degrees in Avondale. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Nailea Leon on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Listen live or listen when you want to. Stream KTAR News live or get podcasts on demand. Subscribe to podcasts from Arizona's Morning News. Bruce St. James and Pamela Hughes, Mac and Gatos, Chad Benson, and have them delivered directly to your phone so you can catch up on what's happening whenever you have time to listen. Live streaming audio on the KTAR News app is presented by Sanderson Ford.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Honesty and integrity. It's the only option. Hi, Spencer Doucet for H&I Automotive. H is for honesty, and I is for integrity. We built our business on these two principles. We opened our first shop in Mesa in 2009, and with the support from our loyal customers, we've now grown to a second, state-of-the-art location in Gilbert. 2 locations, same principles. Quality service at a great value, backed by an industry-leading 60-month, 60,000-mile parts and labor warranty. Check us out at HNIautomotive.com.
Hi, Kevin Rowe from I-17 Collision in Phoenix. If the bad news is you've had an accident, the good news is that with one easy click on bumpertobumperradio.com, you have the best collision, body, and paint shops to help you get back on the road quickly, safely, and with a repair you can trust.
Dave Lindgren here from First Class Auto Body in Scottsdale. Don't be fooled. Some insurance companies try to convince you that you must use their approved shops for your repairs. Not true. Arizona law allows you to choose the facility that's right for you.
And I'm Leo Petrozella from Campus Body Salon in Tempe. Having an accident is stressful enough. Dealing with the repair process shouldn't be. Appearance is important, but it's critical that structural integrity and safety are top priority.
3 convenient locations and 1 united team. With almost 120 years of experience and expertise between us, we are solely focused on taking care of you while working with your insurance company. The Collision Team at bumpertobumperradio.com.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we're your KTAR car guys. And Bumper Radio, for maybe tuning in for the first time, is a show about educating you on your car, making you feel comfortable around automotive decisions, and eliminating that stress from your life as best as we can. It's also a network of shops across the valley that actually support this show. These are shops that Matt and myself would carte blanche refer you to. Go over there. And I'm just looking at a text here, and I got a text from somebody that lives in Surprise, and they're looking for a good shop to do a rear main seal on their vehicle. Do you guys have a good shop? Yes, absolutely. Go to Kurt's Auto Repair. They're like 22nd Avenue and Bell Road. It's Kurt, and it's his family. It truly is a family-run shop. They really care about their customers. And for a job like a rear main seal, I want somebody, it's a major job for your car. I want somebody good to work on that, so I would go see Kurt's at Kurt's Auto Repair. And another shop I want to give a little shout-out to over in the East Valley is Desert Car Care. They're a great member of the Bumper to Bumper family. They'll do a great job for you, so if you're anyone in that Chandler area, you can find that stuff at bumpertobumperradio.com. The other thing you'll find there is you'll find shows that we've done in the past. You'll see the topics listed. If you're like, they were talking about extended warranties that one day, hey, you can find it right there. If you're in the business for an extended warranty, you'll find a segment on extended warranties, that type of thing. That's all at bumpertobumperradio.com, as well as a list of good shops. So we are taking phone calls at 602-277 and text at 411.
Phone number, Dave? 277 what?
Oh yeah,
602-277-5827.
For sure. And I got a text here from George, and George follows the show. He always texts us, and he says, "Hey, you guys got a good? My daughter's getting ready to drive. I'm looking for a good car for $2,500. You guys got anything at your shop?" And once in a while, I do have a good vehicle for $2,500 I'm selling. It's hard in that $2,500 range to find good car. It's a little bit of an oxymoron, on occasion I'll have this great pickup truck, and for $2,500. And what that happens is we come across cars from time to time, and someone's like, "Hey, can you help me sell this car?" So I have good friends that do that. So anyway, no luck for you there, George. If I do, I will let you know. Anyhow, let's go with we've got Kiefer, we've got Mike, and we're going to go with Bill in Mesa with a 2004 Dodge 2500. How can we help you, Bill? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Thank you, guys, for taking your time out to help us.
You bet.
What I do, I just reached a first-time diesel owner, just purchased it here a week ago, single owner, 67,000 miles on it. But when I drive it, I noticed a little bit of RPM change. It shifts fine, runs great, and everything there. And I guess that was really my point there, just not knowing if I have transmission, maybe something happening there. I know they have a transmission problem on those trucks.
No, they don't. Give me a scenario. Are you going 45 miles an hour and just steady throttle?
I took it out only twice. It's sitting in the back there, and I'm going to say it was probably roughly about 35 miles an hour probably. After I noticed that shift change, nothing hard, just watching my RPMs.
How much is the RPM moving? Is it moving 500 RPM? Is it moving less than that? Is it moving even 100 RPM?
I'm going to say probably 2 to 3.
200 to 300 RPM. So
yep.
What goes on with a lot of these Dodge diesels is they have a little bit of an issue with a little bit of noise in the throttle position sensor. And that noise will cause the torque converter to lock up and unlock and lock up and unlock. So it'll kind of go, and it's real noticeable in the diesel just because of the the RPM range that they go with. But so it's not really a transmission problem as much as it is an electrical problem. And of course, I'm not driving the truck, but I just we see some of the same patterns of failure over and over again. So on that, at Tri-City Transmission, what we do with that one is we actually just bypass sending the signal, from the TPS, through the ECM over to the TCM. We just go TPS straight to TCM, and we just bypass it, put in some noise suppression, and it cleans up that problem, clean up the grounds. It's a good little repair. But he said, I know they have.
Do you top off the blinker fluid too?
We do. We use the halogen type.
Okay.
Actually.
I want to make sure. Well, you got to make sure it's bright enough. You got the transmission working right. You got to make sure you got bright enough blinkers.
You want to be the brightest bulb on the tree. That's for sure. The thing right off the bat, he said, "Hey, I know they got transmission problems. Bill, they don't. And so I hear this, everyone that calls me, if they got a Toyota, they go, I know they have transmission problems. And the next guy, I literally am redoing a Dodge truck, roughly it's a 99, same transmission, 325,000 miles, original transmission, and the only reason it went bad is he had a transmission cooler line leaking, and he ran the transmission low on fluid. Otherwise, that thing would have gone another 300,000 miles. So people, there's so much bad information in this business. So if somebody doesn't know, please, if you're in the auto repair business, you don't know something, don't make something up. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, and if you're the person getting that information at the water cooler or Harry homeowner from the office,
I like Harry.
that knows how to do a little bit of everything, kinda. Bad information will run you down a rabbit hole that, like you said, Dave, go back to the transmission. There's transmission problems and there's transmission control problems.
And this is an engine problem because of the throttle position set to right on the left side of the motor.
But it still falls into the control problem.
Right, it does.
The transmission relies on good, garbage in, garbage out. We learned that, way back when when the computers, when desktop computers came out. Got to have good inputs if you want good outputs.
For sure. Hey, good luck with that. Bill, if you're looking for a good shop, bumpertobumperradio.com. Let's go with Kiefer in Mesa. He's got a 2017 Toyota Yaris. How can we help you, Kiefer? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, gentlemen.
You bet.
So I started getting a creaky pop noise when I'm doing sharp turns at low speed. Took my car into Toyota about a month ago. Actually, no, the problem arose about a month and a half ago. Took it in 3 weeks ago. They replaced the front upper strut, but now it's making the creaky pop noise again. They were convinced it was the damaged front driver's side strut.
Was that?
So now I'm confused.
I have two questions. First, how many miles on the car, and did they replace it under warranty?
Yeah, they replaced it under warranty. I just got up to, I think, 20,000 miles.
Okay.
Let's see.
Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they just, I don't know that they really got diagnosed. I don't know how consistent the pop noise is. The best way to get noises fixed from a dealership or an auto repair shop is to get a technician to go for a drive with you so you guys can hear the same noise together so they know what they're chasing. When it comes to noises and when they're intermittent, they're not always the easiest thing to find, but they may not have gotten it. I had a car here not too long ago under warranty at the dealership, and he took it in, and they covered the mounts, the engine mounts under warranty for his noise. Well, it wasn't his problem. I drove it, and I'm like, no, you need a wheel bearing. Go back and see him.
Right. Yeah.
So
and they also replaced the I guess it's the bushing that's in the same area.
Strut mount probably.
Now I'm in facilities maintenance. Logic tells me if you replace one side, shouldn't you just do the other to equal it out, or maybe there's nothing wrong with it?
20,000 miles, pretty young. You can get away with just doing one.
And not under warranty. Toyota's not going to say, oh, yeah, hey, just for the hell of it, let's do the other side. They do have to justify. The good thing is you didn't have to spend any of your money. You just had to spend some time. So take it back to them. Kind of no harm, no foul, I guess. Everybody should be mad at Toyota. Maybe they just didn't get it far enough. I'm sure they you would have liked to think they test drove it and everything. But just go back and work with them. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too big of a thing. So good luck with that. 602-277-5827.
I just want to mention we have a email that I wanted to address real quick. And it comes from a gal in Tucson that listens. So if you're down in Tucson, you're getting the signal. That's great. Bumper to Bumper Radio. We love that you're listening from afar, but we don't have and her question is the bumpers on her Mustang are starting to turn white. So they're fading. And looking for a body shop, can that be repaired? Absolutely it can. And a Bumper to Bumper Radio, we've got not just body shop, or not just mechanical repair shops and Dave for the transmission shop, but we've got a team of body shops. And while we don't have one in Tucson, I would recommend going to the Bumper to Bumper Radio website and call one of those guys. They know people. They're part of the trade associations. They can get you a referral to somebody in Tucson, I'm sure. So if you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, there's a collision team banner right there. And you're going to find, I'm going to draw my name is going to draw blank, but I-17 Collision over on the west side. You've got Leo at Campus Body Salon, and then Dave
at First Class Auto Body in Scottsdale. So bumpertobumperradio.com. When we come back, we're going to breeze through some phone calls. We've got Mike, we've got Jason, we've got John, and we've got Oscar. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
After a car accident, make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved, 5-star rated with Yelp, CarWise.com, and A+ rated by the BBB. The best care in collision repair since 1973. Check us out at campusbodysalon.com.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Hey, this is Gary Woodland. Join me and the PGA Tour's best at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, presented by Auction Indian Community, January 29th through February 3rd at TPC Scottsdale. See you at the People's Open.
There is nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock here for Kurt's Auto Repair. I brought my nephew and general manager, Jeff Rock, to help spread the word.
Thanks, Pops. Yep, the more things change, the more they stay the same at Kurt's. Family owned and operated, our ASE Master Techs and family ethics have earned us a perfect Better Business Bureau record for over 30 years. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue in Bell or online at mycarhurts.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic, if your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at accurateautomotiveaz.com today.
Beautiful day. Anyway, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here with Matt Allen, taking your phone calls. And we got some phone calls to bang through. We've got Mike in Mesa. He's got a 98 Toyota Avalon. Jason. We've got John with a 78 Fiat. It's funny because on the call logger it's Fiat, F-I-O-T. Everyone knows because it's Fiat stands for Fix It Again, Tony. But now Bryce knows now, too, that's... Anyway, so let's go with Mike in Mesa. He's got a 98 Toyota Avalon. How can we help you, Mike? You are on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Good morning, gentlemen. Appreciate everything you do here.
Thank you. Good morning.
You mentioned that every time a car comes to your shop, you test the battery.
Yep.
My main shop is my garage, so is there a way I can reliably test my battery? Because I've had mixed issues with XYZ Auto Shop.
Right.
Auto parts store.
Yeah, you could go to Napa. I think they'll do a parking lot battery test. And a lot of us have that same tester.
Right.
A lot of shops will test them for free for you. I think the AutoZones, the Napas, the O'Reillys, they'll do a fair test on the battery.
You can pick. I mean, Midtronics is one of the brands that makes the testers. Mm-hmm. And if you want to pick one up for your garage, you could probably pick one up on Craigslist. They're not cheap if you go buy a brand new one.
No.
But they're going to be in that probably used $300 to $500 range.
Yeah, a lot of money for a tool that you're not going to use very often. And maybe it's worth going and paying someone $50 or $49.95, whatever they charge to do the charging system and the battery, and the battery test because. It's funny. I don't know. I don't want to get on my soapbox. Never mind.
Yeah, no, we got calls.
We got lots of time.
So anyway, we're going to go with Jason in Chandler. He's got a 2006 Nissan Titan. How can we help you, Jason? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Really appreciate the service that you provide.
Thank you. Sure.
So about a year ago, I noticed that my Titan was riding kind of rough. like, just going over bumps, and it felt like somebody was hitting the bottom of my car with a sledgehammer. So I took it in, and I had a very reputable shop put some shocks and struts on it. And driving it around, like a couple weeks later, I didn't really feel like it felt that much different. So I took it back in, and I told them, look, it's still riding pretty rough. And they told me that Nissan Titans are just that way, that they're supposed to be tight.
How long have you owned that vehicle?
I've owned it since 2010.
Oh, so you had 9 years to find out what a Nissan Titan felt like.
Yeah, right? And something's different from 9 years ago, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so now you also said that you had them replace the shocks and struts. Did you tell them you wanted that done, or was that their analysis and their recommendation?
That was their analysis and their recommendation.
Okay. How many miles are in your truck?
135.
Okay. So,
any new tires recently or anything like that?
Probably about 2.5 years ago I had the tires.
Okay, so that's
tires
nothing.
replaced.
That's not tires. New. So one thing I'd be looking at, and I don't need to defend the shop, but I will say that you probably, and I put an asterisk by that, you probably had worn shocks and struts. Now, I'll say that with an asterisk because I'm driving a 2010 Tundra that's got 137,000 miles on it. I'm not replacing the shocks.
Because you drive it so gingerly.
No, I don't. I beat the death to that thing. But it's got, that one's got the Bilstein shocks because it's got the off-road package or the TRD thing. Those are not bad. I'm telling you right now. Now, if it was the basic version, yeah, maybe they were. Or if it was, so a 130,000-mile car definitely, quote, needs shocks and struts. The ride will improve in most cases, but there's something else going wrong along with this car.
We need to diagnose the harsh ride.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it may very, very well need it. On some cars, if it's, a strut car, I've seen struts stick and make it ride really rough.
Yeah.
But I can diagnose that. I got a stuck strut, but
you can prove it out.
You know who I think of is Valley Spring.
Yeah.
It'd be worth a trip down to Valley Spring. Go see Phil and his people and see if go for a ride with them and see what they think of your truck. It's not Titans are just tight and they ride like junk.
Yeah,
that's someone who doesn't want to dial in and figure out the problem because you've had 9 years of experience and know what that truck drives like, and all of a sudden your Nissan engineering changed without you knowing about
Jason,
it.
Don't you know anything? That's how they all are.
I hate that broad brush stuff, man.
Yours just finally caught up. Now, maybe the tire pressures. If things, maybe we went to the lube shop and the kid didn't know any better and he read the side of the tires and he put 70 pounds of pressure in it.
That happens. That does happen.
So check your tire pressures. That's what you can do at home. And then after that, back to the shop.
Let's go with Skeen in Chandler. He's got a 2012 Toyota Tundra. How can we help you, Skeen? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I've got a 2012 Tundra 5.7 Crew Max with the TRD package, four-wheel drive. I just rolled 60,000 miles, and I'm getting mixed information on a transmission fluid change. The book says to do it at 60, and the dealership says, no, we don't touch that till 100K. Just kind of want to get your guys' input on that, since I know you're transmission experts.
Yeah, both are. I'm on a Toyota. I'm every 50,000 miles. That would be my belief. I don't necessarily listen to the dealership because they've been telling. I'm literally replacing transmission or rebuilding transmissions at 80,000 miles on Toyotas that still haven't had their first service yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of that. Every 50, make sure it's serviced right. Make sure it's got the Toyota, I think it's a WS or T4 fluid in it. And the one thing I say all the time is that no transmission service is way better than a bad transmission service.
Well,
because I'm not going to, the quickie lube for a transmission service on something that's...
What I was going to say is I have a 2010 Tundra. I think I did my first one at 30, and I've done them at 30 subsequent, to that. But I agree, 50 or 60 is probably good.
Right.
But and that's not a transmission service that you can kind of pull in and pull out. Dave, remember we had some problems with mine?
Yeah, you did.
And you have got to have it's got to be checked at a certain temperature. And there's a very small window to check that fluid level. So if you pull into the shop with a hot car and then they service it, that transmission fluid is already hotter than the temperature that you're supposed to check the fluid at. You've got to cool it back down.
Go through the process. We do 15 a week. on average. And we don't let you wait while you do it. You drop it off at 8 in the morning. We call you at 4:30 to say it's ready to go. You got an hour to get to the shop to pick it up. Because we want the time on it. We drive them before, we drive them after. Maybe we may let it sit, to cool back down so we can check the fluid. So it's not like the old days. You just whip out. There is no dipstick on it.
Yeah. And then it's the other thing, that we're starting to really peel back the layers and we get down a rabbit hole here. But there's no when they tell you the transmission's sealed, that just means they don't know how to service it, or, heck, the cars don't even have, some cars, Mercedes, Volkswagen, they don't even have BMW, they don't even have a dipstick to check the oil anymore.
Right.
The manufacturers,
the engine's sealed. No.
Yeah, the engine's sealed. You can't change
Built for life.
Yeah, you just, the manufacturers don't want you in there messing around because the tolerances are so tight.
And it causes an issue.
Yeah.
Let's sneak in Oscar in Phoenix. He's got a 16 Chevy Suburban, and how can we help you, Oscar? Quickly, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. How you doing today? Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
A 2016 Chevy Suburban, purchased that new, and what is happening from about 6 months ago till now is a ticking sound every time we start the Suburban. It's not a smooth idle. There's always a ticking sound. At times it sounds like a diesel.
Oh, wow. And how many miles on this Suburban?
49,000. So it's still under warranty. I've taken it back so many times to them. They discovered that they did some work on the tailpipe. It had so many issues. This is a brand new Suburban. And they discovered that whoever put the exhaust pipes together did not do it right, and there was an exhaust leak. But this is a constant ticking sound when it's on idle.
Well, just cold in the morning, though?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, that's a tough one. You need to get that back to the dealer, and I don't know if the powertrain warranty on that is 50,000 miles.
I think it's 100.
But I would get it back in there. Make sure you've got your documentation of your oil changes. And this is why it's important, too, when your car's under warranty or after repair, if something happens, you want that visit memorialized. Because if you just pull in, they say, hey, Oscar, we couldn't find anything. Here's the keys. Have a good day. You've got no documentation of that visit down the road for a warranty. So I always suggest memorializing it. And if you have to leave it overnight at the dealership, maybe make a deal with them and say, I'm going to leave it here overnight, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:30, and we'll go out and we'll listen to this thing together. They've got to be able to find the noise. You got to just push them through this process. They may or may not want to just try and blow you off or get it to the right technician, but just keep on them.
Well, you're glad you could join us. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. We've been saying this for the 7 years we've been on the air. Texting and driving. Don't do it. We can all get in the habit of it. I'm guilty of it. And just put the phone in the back seat or something, because you look away and something happens.
You'll be that State Farm guy.
For sure. So we'll see you next week from Matt and Dave and all the shops at Bumper to Bumper Radio. Have a good week.